Yeah, no, I like this table. It's good because it fits most boxes. It's all I need. And then if I'm lucky, there'll be a seat here waiting for me. And I know that they have a seat here at Spirit, so... Oh, that's another goal. 6-0. No. You said 7. I know Wanderers are good in the lower grades. I actually don't know who's gonna win this next one though. Who do you think? You're the dark man. Who's gonna win this next game? I think Spirit. It's hard. They're actually very similar. They play very similar. They're both good teams to watch. So they're both quite young as well. Really? The Wanderers.
Welcome to Christie Park, home of Northwest Sydney Football and NWS Spirit FC. We hope everybody enjoys the match day between Northwest Sydney Spirit and Western Sydney Wanderers. A reminder, the Christie Park canteen is available for coffee, hot food, snacks and cold drinks. Smoking is prohibited in all areas of this venue. Any guests found smoking will be asked to leave the venue. If you wish to smoke, please do so 10 metres outside the entrance gate. Playing fields are out of bounds to all except players and officials. Please ensure when leaving Christie Park that all rubbish is taken with you or placed in the bins provided. Please note, it is an expectation that all spectators respect players and referees at all times whilst within the venue. We would like to also thank our sponsors, Alpha Gear, Fork Care, New Horizon Air Conditioning, Zolaris, Splitfield, Nat Electrical, Jocker, the Epping Club for their continued support of NWS Spirit FC. Number 11, Miriam Smile. Number 15, Angelina Scarmadella. Number 16, Annie Musacic. Number 19, Sierra Arate. Number 20, Jasmine Silva. Number 21, Olivia Vanderland. Number 27, Krista Olivia. And on the bench, number 6, Arden Surgeon. Number 9, Catalina Wojcinski. Number 18, Ava DaCosta. Number 24, Isabella Sultan. Number 30, Zoe Edwards. And number 34, Talia Boscanian. And now your NWS Spirit FC lineup. Number 4, Shiny Cooney Cross. Number 5, Victoria Martin. Number 7, Captain for the Day, Kayla Osborne. Number 9, Sky Humrick. Number 14, Christina Amnon. Number 17, Ariana Stoltzfus. Number 18, Sienna Hawkins. Number 19, Victoria Kalusic. Number 27, Lucy Fuchineko. Number 31, Grace Smith. Number 66, Madison Gabilla. And on the bench, number 3, Ella Abdulmasi. Number 21, Matilda Gilbert. Number 22, Charlotte Finity. Number 23, Alexia Haneo. Number 25, Michaela Gavranich. And number 26, Sophia Kelleher. Good luck to Spirits Women's First Grade in their fixture.
NPL Women's Football on your Mother's Day Sunday continues from Christie Park as the Spirit are keen to continue their run of form in what could see them shoot into the finals places come the end of today's play. In their way stand a young Western Sydney side looking to get back in the winner's circle after a couple of losses in a row. Two young attacking sides with plenty of potential on display for your Sunday, and we can't wait to get started for you here on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. Will Constantinides here with you, and it's a happy Mother's Day to all our mothers watching at home. Maybe your daughters are out there today, and maybe you're sitting back with a family watching some NPL women's football. It should be a great game. These sides love to have the ball, they love to attack, and they do like to try and force errors from the opposition high up the park, so we should see a positive display from both teams. A reminder, of course, it is also Female Football Week as the club celebrates the contributions of women across all our competitions. We'll get you straight into the team. You're starting first with the Spirit. They come into this one unchanged, and why wouldn't they be? Tony Candy's young side have amassed back-to-back wins, knocking off Apia in a comfortable 2-0 win at Lambert Park last weekend, which would have put the rest of the league on notice as to what his side is capable of. Their full starting 11 goes like this. In goal, number 31, Grace Smith, after her clean sheet last weekend. In midfield, number 4, Shani Cooney Cross. Victoria Martin, number 5. Their captain is number 7, Kayla Osborne. Number 9, the player to watch undoubtedly for today, the league's top scorer, Sky Halmerick. 14 is Christina Ayunion. 17, Ariana Stoltzfus. 18, Sienna Hawkins. 19, Victoria Kalisic. 27, Lucy Fukuneko. And number 66 is Madison Gabila. As for the Wanderers, well, a tough loss at home to Uni last week when they just couldn't find the back of the net despite plenty of attempts. They were held out to a 1-0 loss in a game they would have been favourites in, so they travelled through the hills to Christie Park in search of a much-needed 3 points. Both of these teams are in the hunt for the finals, separated by just 3 ladder positions, but by only 3 points. So a win for the Wanderers could put them right back up in the mix, where they would undoubtedly want to be with the young talent at their disposal. As for their starting 11, number 4 is Isabel Wilson, number 5 is Chelsea Barden, 7 Alyssa McKenzie, 8 Estelle Cameron, number 11 is Miriam Zamaya, number 15 is Angelina Scarmadella, 16 Annika Stajic, 19 Sienna Arate, 20 Jasmine Selva, 21 Olivia Vanderland, and number 27 Krista Oliva. With all that out of the way, only kickoff remains. And another important detail with the team news also is on the bench for the Spirit. Number 3, Ella Abdulmasi, returns from her stint with the Perth Glory. Of course, Abdulmasi herself made her A-League women's debut with the Western Sydney Wanderers. So it's all set up for a very intriguing clash. As mentioned, these sides are separated by just 3 points on the ladder. And a win for either of them would be massive. For Spirit, it would take them into the top 4. For Wanderers, it would put them right next to the Spirit and maybe within just a couple of points, or even less than that, of putting themselves back in the finals race. Of course, already had plenty of action across the NPL women's competition so far this weekend. Yesterday, Apia defeating the Northern Tigers 3-1 at North Taramara. Another eye-catching result for sure. And Spirit knocked off Apia last weekend. I was fortunate enough to call that game. I was very impressed, start to finish, from what Tony Candy's young team were able to put together. And if you didn't see it during the week, they actually put up a great post on their social media, the Spirit, talking about where all their players have come through in their pathway. And all their players, bar the 200-game Spanish Primera Division player Cristina Ayunion, all except her, have come through the Spirit system, whether that's through Spirit Association clubs and then moved into Spirit youth grades. It's a testament to what they're building, and it'll be a real test of their youth ranks against the Western Sydney Wanderers Academy. So all that remains is kickoff. It'll be the Western Sydney Wanderers to get us underway. Olivia Vanderland at the top of the attack for the Wanderers. Should be a fantastic game for your Saturday here at what is known the Arctic Circle, but it's not quite too chilly just yet. So Vanderland gets us underway. We're off and running in round 10 of the NPL women's competition, and immediately Wanderers will look to put Stoltzfus on the back foot. She's forced to clear over the sideline, but it takes a touch off Alyssa McKenzie on the way through. And Alyssa McKenzie poses a big threat for the Spirit, has plenty of pace on the wing, as Arate sends that over the top of the cover. Stoltzfus will have to launch this down the line. Halmerick drops short to receive. Now Spirit will look to keep the ball. Here is Kalisic. Her and Lucy Fukuneko were able to, as mentioned, keep a clean sheet against the Wanderers last time out. Against Apia, should I say, last time out, as Fukuneko's ball is switched over the top, a bit too heavy on that occasion. In midfield is Estelle Cameron, but it's pinched off her by Sky Halmerick, who is as high in confidence as any player is at the moment. Sky Halmerick probably has the green light to shoot from just about anywhere, the 17-year-old number 9. More on her in a moment. Meanwhile, the Wanderers are trying to build out. Oliva plays a quick 1-2, and the Wanderers are through. Here is Stajic and Krista Oliva, the former Blacktown Spartan. Stajic able to receive. Vanderland is joined by Victoria Kalisic, and the Wanderers will march forward. Oliva down the line. Vanderland has gotten the other side of Kalisic here, but there's not too much support in the box. Goes for the cross. Seen away easily by Stoltzfus. Osborne picks it up in midfield. Outside of the foot pass is broken up, and the Wanderers can get another wave of an attack as here goes Alyssa McKenzie using her pace, and she's gotten the other side of Stoltzfus here. Good ball in towards the 6-yard area. Kalisic has to clear, but it's not convincing. Eventually she does so at the second attempt, and Osborne gets something away, and a shot comes over the top from Miriam Zamaya. Another player to watch from the Wanderers side of things, Miriam Zamaya. And that time she's scored plenty of great goals throughout this season, has Miriam Zamaya. 5 to her name across her 10 appearances for the club. There was a period of time where she scored in 3 consecutive games between rounds 6 and 8. It was stopped by Uni. They put her scoring run to an end, but her quality is well known. Here is Stoltzfus. Pass into midfield. That's going to be taken off by the Wanderers. Here is Cameron. Has Osborne on her back. No fouls as our referee, as it's dribbled out over the line by Sienna Hawkins. Hawkins and Victoria Martin are flanking Sky Halmerick in this continued front 3. Wanderers go all the way back to the keeper as all Sky Halmerick is hunting, looking for the ball there. Jasmine Selva had to be careful as Spirit have pinched it here. Halmerick had ideas of a quick switch. It's come out to Cooney Cross. Osborne turns, looking to link up with Ayunion. They do so. Osborne on the shot. And more positive play from Spirit. Didn't quite come off there, but you can see this midfield 3 is really starting to tick over. It's a well-balanced midfield, I must say, between Ayunion, Cooney Cross and Kayla Osborne. They all fill their roles quite well. Wanderers will definitely have their hands full as Vanderland, nice pass around the corner, and McKenzie has the speed to burst onto the ball. McKenzie getting forward, players joining her in the box. The cross goes to the penalty spot, cleared away by Gabila, only as far as Cameron. And the shot was always rising, Estella Cameron. But again, it's positive play on the wings from the Wanderers, just using Vanderland as that linchpin up top. Another player that can find the back of the net, Olivia Vanderland, former Sydney Uni striker. Would love to have gotten one against her former side last weekend. As Osborne picks it up in space. He's in a battle for the ball. At the time she's able to win it. Sienna Arate, the offender there. Osborne. Well, one back by the Wanderers, but Osborne cleans up her mistake as Ayunion will take the calmer option instead, as Spirit can just knock it around the back here. Kalisic looking for an incisive pass forward, broken up by Krista Oliva. No fouls as our referee. Clean tackle in midfield by Shani Cooney Cross. Osborne. Good switch out wide, and Stoltzfus is going to get to this ball here. Stoltzfus on the byline looking for a low-driven cross in, and it's almost spilt by Jasmine Selva. And the last person you would want to spill it to in that situation is Sky Halmerick, hunting with that striker's instinct for what would have been her 6th goal in the last 3 games. Spirit would be coming into this one slight favourites due to their better recent form and better position on the ladder, but there isn't that much in it between the two. terms of where both these sides rank attacking-wise, defensive-wise, the Wanderers have conceded the third most goals in the competition, 19, only the Jets, and MacArthur Rams have conceded more. As it's sent up towards Vanderland. She's being asked to do a lot of hold-up play up top. Is the Wanderers number 21 occupying that striker role. Spirit will try and press the Wanderers here as Barton goes back to Selva. Selva looking for that crossfield switch to Krista Olivo. She has to scurry across the line to keep that one in. Eventually they go long, but it's broken up by the Spirit. Arate has to go back, and Spirit are able to force the error, and that'll please Tony Candy on the bench just down to our right. It's the beauty of being here at the Arctic Circle. We're right behind the two benches. It's probably one of the closest proximity coaching boxes to where the commentary position is. So we can hear absolutely everything that's being said. You might be even able to hear some of it at home. So Stoltzfus has gone across to take this. And they're all lining up back post, but now they make their runs. The Spirit, it's a deep cross in, and Halmerick is there. And it's another goal for Sky Halmerick. 6 goals in her last 3 games. You simply cannot stop the Spirit number 9.
Spirit take the lead for Sky Halmerick. The score is 1-0.
A fantastic corner, another set-piece move. And Sky Halmerick was right there on the spot, exactly where she needed to be at the far post. And the league's top scorer extends her scoring streak. And with what is their first real chance of the game, the Northwest Sydney Spirit. And they've got their juniors up and about now, the Spirit. It's a great feature of their both men's and women's games at home. Their juniors are out in force to support them. And with the way that both their teams have been playing as of late, both Spirit, men's and women's, definitely in the mix for the finals right now. There's a lot to cheer about here in Christie Park. It is simply insane what Sky Halmerick has been doing this season. 6 goals in her last 3. She scored 2 last week, a perfect hat-trick the week before at this venue. A Union lumps it into the box. Osborne is there, and it might just go all the way in. It's off the post. And Christina Union almost had her first goal for the club. Kayla Osborne has also scored recently as well. It's been a flowing Spirit attack in recent weeks. Defensively, they've been quite solid as well, but it's their attack that has come alive recently in this run where they've had 4 wins in their last 5. As Chelsea Barton will have to be taken wide to receive the ball. Knocks it into Vanderland, and a loose pass will mean it's a Spirit throw right in front of the bench. Wilson and Barton exchange passes, and that another error as Wanderers try and play out from the back. Jamie Dibb in the box for the Wanderers. After Jeff Abrams was called up to coach the A-League women's team. Their season's now done, of course, but Dibb is still in the box. As meanwhile, Victoria Martin is trying to burst forward as forces a bit of sweeper keeper work there from Selva. Selva sends that high. It'll fall onto the feet of Stajic. That's a great first touch from Anika Stajic. Oliva. Miriam Zamaya was trying to turn, but it's blocked by Spirit. Wilson has to put that away and keep it in, and it comes off Osborne. This will be their third consecutive win the Spirit if it were to hold it. It's great they've taken the lead early at home. Flag is up on the far side. Gabila puts it into the hold-up play of Sky Halmerick, and now they can try and switch out. Cooney cross. Across the midfield to our Union. Sliding past to Stoltzfus. It was her assist that has Spirit in front right now as Stoltzfus goes down, and an easy decision by the referee. Mr. McKenzie being whistled for the foul. Our Union now standing over the ball. Opportunity to whip this one in. Our Union towards the penalty spot. Halmerick is there, tries to get something on it. It'll fall for the Spirit, but it was always rising. That shot from Sienna Hawkins. So get back across from the right side to the left as now Wanderers, who have looked to continue playing out as is their way. Spirit so far have patrolled the midfield well and really denied them opportunities. Now they play between the lines. Stajic. Cooney cross, sends that out of play. Oliva. Wilson, pass will force her back a little bit, and that means she'll have to reset all the way back to Selva. Almost picked off here is Arate, and now Osborne is putting on the press. Chelsea Barton has to go quickly, and now Spirit make their move, and that's exactly what Spirit would have wanted from that situation. They force Wanderers into another error playing out. Stoltzfus into the feet of Hawkins. A Union. Kalisic. And Fukuneko. Stoltzfus takes it across her defender. And that pass is broken up. Nice pass there from Fukuneko. Just a few of these errors creeping into both teams' games as they play out. Spirit look to pinch another one here. Halmerick was on the scene. Wanderers now find their way out. Here is Vanderland turning and playing forward. Broken up again by the Spirit. That time it's Stoltzfus. And Spirit continue to dictate play and keep things on their terms. Madison Gabila out wide. Victoria Martin. Probably one of the more experienced heads in this Spirit team, Victoria Martin. She's been in the Spirit setup for a while at senior level. Let's have a couple of these players. Martin herself, and I say senior, she's just 24. With how young this Spirit team has, compared to the rest of her teammates, she's definitely one of the oldest out there as Spirit look to try and create a second here with Gabila. Lumped into the box. Halmerick gets her foot up. Wilson was claiming a high foot. It's still with Sienna Hawkins and the Spirit in the box. They try to fashion a shooting angle. Gabila whips it in, only as far as Chelsea Barton, who goes for distance on the clearance. As it's lumped back in. Halmerick was making a play at the ball from an offside position, so she'll be whistled for that one. Quick check of the shoulder from Estella Cameron, knows that there's black and yellow shirts around her. And the Spirit press has been relentless so far. Vanderland has seen a lot of the ball, but hasn't seen all that much of it in the attacking third, has Olivia Vanderland. Most of her work has been in midfield as the Wanderers try and play their way through. That time they go for the long ball option. It'll fall kindly here for Mackenzie. Can the Wanderers create something? Mackenzie has pace and puts the ball in. Almost spilled, but eventually claimed by Grace Smith. The signs of life in this Wanderers attack. They have the players that can cause problems. And no doubt Spirit will be well aware of that. Fukaneko. Pass intercepted by Alyssa Mackenzie. And I think Ariana Stoltzfus and Tony Candy were just having some discussions there as to how they could have gone about that situation a little better. Halmerick left it behind, which meant Arate could intervene. Oh, Halmerick has won it back here. Halmerick can try and chip the keeper, and I think that's what she had in mind, but just didn't quite get underneath that shot there. Sky Halmerick, a player that can find the back of the net from distance, especially here at Christie Park. We've seen it before, and now Halmerick looks to go again on her right foot, is claiming the foul, but you see our referee made the ball motion there, the universal signal for getting the ball. And now Spirit have to worry on the other end as Oliva is bursting forward. Sliding that pass out to Miriam Zamaya, who has space to create the cross. In it goes towards the penalty spot. A Union is there, and it'll fall kindly to Smith. And it's all eventually tamed by Spirit's Spanish midfielder. Because Cristina Union coming to the club this season. It's just her 6th appearance today in Spirit yellow and black. Joining from Spain, where she spent time in the Primera Division for Deportivo Alaves, and Rayo Vallecano, where she played 11 seasons, over 200 games across Spain, which has included time in the Primera Division. While she was there, the club made the Champions League as well, so she has extensive experience at the top level of the game, does Ayunion, as she showed it there with a nice turn to get rid of Estella Cameron. Now she goes through the Wanderers' defence. No doubt players like Shani Cooney-Cross and Kayla Osborne, her midfield partners, will definitely appreciate her experience as Selva has to get up for that cross and does. Reliably told. I had a brief chat to Tony Candy last week after their win against Apia, and he said still more players to come into this Spirit team. Abdul Masi will certainly be one of them, but Spirit are in a good position already with what is a young side. For many of them, this is the first time they've been put into extensive starting roles. Some of them may have been in the first grade setup for a while or in the senior team playing bench roles, but they've been thrust into consistent starting positions this season, and I think no one embodies that more than Sky Halmerick. Her 10th consecutive start this season, has started every single game, and she has scored her 11th goal during that time. It's an insane record that she has in 2025, the 17-year-old. She's already eclipsed the goal record she had in 2024, the 8 goals in her time. As here goes Ayunion, will try the shot herself. Christina Ayunion, that was inches away from the goal, and she gets a big round of applause from her new fans, and that would have been something to savour for her first goal for the club. But to go back to Sky Halmerick, we'll go back to her in a moment. Meanwhile, the Wanderers are on the attack. Miriam Zamaya looking for the cross, has found Vanderland, couldn't quite connect. As now Zamaya will link up with Arate after that pass. Here is Stajic. Zamaya again, faked the cross, decided to go back inside, but Martin is dropping back to win it. Halmerick is the sole player up top for the Spirit as they try and defend now. Just ticked over 20 minutes gone here at the Arctic Circle. If you're just joining us, it's Sky Halmerick's goal that has the home side in front, and it's her 11th in 10 games this season. She only started 4 games in 2024. Only played 9 first-grade games total. And she started every single one for Tony Candy. And why wouldn't she with what she has shown for them? Now the Wanderers looking to build here. Scarmadella inside. Vanderland is on the penalty spot, looking to try and create a shot. The first corner of the game for the Wanderers. Spirit were the ones that were able to take the lead. From a corner. What can the Wanderers whip up here? They've got a player joining short here. Whipped in near post by Arateu. It's not quite cleared by Spirit. Vanderland is there, as was Chelsea Barden. Back out it goes into the mix, and Estella Cameron is there. Wanderers can try and recycle. Scarmadella, pass broken up by Cooney Cross, and now Spirit could think about bursting forward. Stoltzfus didn't quite like what she saw ahead of her, and Tony Candy applauds the more patient build-up from his team. A bit of a commentator's curse means the ball goes out of play. Scarmadella asking a lot of Vanderland under heavy pressure from 2 Spirit defenders. They'll gain a bit of territory from it. Arate has Osborne for company. Hamrick was joining in as well. Now they'll go around the back with Barton and Isabel Wilson. That's a loose pass there. Sky Hamrick is going to get to this. Oh, almost got around the keeper, and Selva with an outstretched leg had to get that tackle just right. Timed it perfectly and did well to get all the ball and nothing of Sky Hamrick. Perfect goalkeeping there from the Wanderers youngster to avoid a costly mistake at the back from Western Sydney. Now they'll try and exercise a bit more patience as Krista Oliva takes the space afforded to her. Good idea with the pass through the defence, but just a bit too much power on it. Now it's the Wanderers' turn to try and force an error as Smith takes no chances. Goes for territory on the clearance. I mean, the Wanderers get the ball again. They've come alive a little bit as of late. The Wanderers, they've been able to find avenues through Spirit's midfield with a bit more regularity. They're still looking for a big chance on goal. They've conceded a couple down the other end. A few times now that Sky Hamrick has looked to add a second goal since they've gone up. Osborne tries to atone for her error as Wanderers pick it off in midfield. Here is Angelina Scarmadella. Wide to Mackenzie. Making her run between Spirit defenders towards the box as Stoltzfus marshalled her well. And the Union has the presence of mind just to play her keeper. Kalisic. Here is Fukuneko. Looking for some support, knocks it into Osborne. Arate had left it behind, and now Spirit can play forward themselves. A good pass wide. Stoltzfus will get there, but Mackenzie has the pace to stay right with her. And that'll be a Western Sydney throw. Mackenzie into Vanderland, and so far the Wanderers have looked to Vanderland with regularity, but the Spirit centre-back pairing of Fukuneko and Kalisic are doing well to keep her under wraps. Now Zamaya is flanked by Krista Oliva. Wanderers can get numbers forward here. Oliva looking for the cross. It's low and it's driven, and a deflection took the sting out of it as Grace Smith was able to get down quickly. fully under lights here at the Arctic Circle as we start to inch towards the cooler months. It's a nice 19, 20 degrees at the moment, not quite the 11, 12 degree temps that you can get here with a bit of wind during the season. Now the press comes once more from the Spirit as Stoltzfus steps in and wins a vital ball for Spirit. Of course, this has been a good start for the Spirit as Stoltzfus tries to get the other side of McKenzie, who's done her defensive duties quite well. It must be said, Alyssa McKenzie. Her pace is useful on both ends of the ball. As Wanderers take the goal kick, we'll briefly update you on the scores from around the grounds. Up at the Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility, the Emerging Jets and Mount Druitt. In what is a shock so far, the Jets and Mount Druitt are locked at 1-1 after 25 minutes gone. And as I've turned on the stream, the Jets have scored a second. So the Emerging Jets lead league leaders Mount Druitt Town Rangers 2-1 in what would be a monumental upset against the league leaders who are undefeated to this point. 26 minutes gone there. Meanwhile at Cromer, it's 0-0 between Manly and the Ravens. So plenty of games to watch out there as the Wanderers try to burst forward. That pass a little bit overcooked, and Kalisic will just let that roll out of play. Meanwhile, it's 0-0 between the Rams and Uni. And between, there's a whole host of games taking place on your Saturday. Olympic and the Bulls. That one, an important game for Olympic to try and really find themselves off the foot of the ladder. Not having too much success at the moment. Down 2-0 at home. 25 minutes gone there. Spirit just able to really stifle the Wanderers at the moment. And then UNSW have a 1-0 lead against the Stingrays over at the Village Green. So plenty of interesting points to talk about from those games. Spirit look to go over the top. Here is Victoria Martin. Players waiting for her in the box. That one off the back of Wilson, and it'll be another corner for the Spirit. Last time they took one from that side, they were able to score and get the opener. Stoltzfus already has an assist to her name. Here they go again, a similar corner routine this time. And again, it's lofted a bit deeper on this occasion. As Helmrich was the target once more, but didn't look like she was going to cause too many problems with that particular header. So the Wanderers, they do have avenues to goal, that is for sure. But they're just looking for that big chance that they hope to convert. Here is Arate getting to the byline. Another cutback for the Wanderers, but so far Spirit have been equal to it every time they've been tested in that situation. Union sends that clear of any immediate danger. Zamaya tries to use some skill to get past her defender. She's very difficult to deal with, Miriam Zamaya. Has shown that this season, but so far Spirit have kept her fairly quiet. Sky Halmerick has found Kayla Osborne, and Osborne gets the call to turn from her teammates and switches one out, but that one skips along the slightly damp synthetic turf. Of course, we did have a bit of rain earlier this afternoon, so it is a very zippy surface out there, as Alyssa McKenzie is going to be whistled for a foul throw there in a very advantageous position from a Spirit perspective. They've been gifted the ball maybe 5 or so metres away from the goal line there, and they can think about trying to build from this set-piece opportunity. Stoltzfus, ball into the box, seen away by Wilson. Ayunion picks it up on the edge of the area. Has Martin out wide, and that's where she goes. Victoria Martin into Christina Ayunion to add a second. Great save by Selva, and then cleared off the line by Wilson, only as far as Ayunion. And Jasmine Selva has pulled off a fantastic double save to deny all 200 plus games of Spanish League experience from Christina Ayunion, who was very close to getting past her and almost did so. Isabel Wilson was on the line to clear it. Selva got enough of a hand to it to take the sting out of the shot. And it was still goal bound in the end from Christina Ayunion, but Wilson was there to stop it from crossing the line. And now they go for another high lofted corner. Halmerick is up there again. It falls back down for Sky Halmerick, looking to poke it home. And Halmerick cannot be stopped right now. Everything she touches ends up in the back of the net.
That's the second goal.
7 goals in her last 3 for Sky Halmerick. It defies all belief at the moment what she is doing in the NPL women's competition. Just in the right place at the right time once again. And she had it all to do from that position with Wanderers and Spirit players alike all in her way. And when you are in the form that she is in, that goal looks about 3 times as wide as it actually is. And she was able to find the only spot through a crowd of players to poke it into the back of the net. Sky Halmerick is simply on another level at the moment. We mentioned Sky Halmerick is just in another stratosphere of form at the moment, and what better way to do it against an A-League academy. Definitely making her case for a contract on the national stage is Sky Halmerick. Here she is now dropping into midfield, looking for a good pass forward, and it almost came up for Sienna Hawkins there. Zamaya has switched out onto this wing, looking to move the magnets as the Wanderers are searching for some success in attacks. Garmadella has gone over to the other side as well. Here's Krista Oliva. The Wanderers have really switched things up. Oliva, who was playing left back, has now gone to left wing. Scarmadella, who was playing right back, has gone to left back. Mackenzie, who was playing right wing, has gone to right back. And Zamaya has gone to left wing, has gone to the right wing. So 4 players have switched positions for the Western Sydney Wanderers, a signal that they are looking to switch things up quickly. Martin is called upon at the first post to clear it away as Oliva gets it forward, and that's a good touch for the Spirit. They can keep this going forward here. Osborne is the intended target. It'll find her. Halmerick bursts through the Wanderers' defence, puts the shot on. Cries of a foul from Halmerick, who is still on the turf. Vanderland will get to this ball before it crosses the line, and now she's able to keep her run going, but she's met immediately by Fukaneko. McKenzie gets there ahead of Halmerick, but Halmerick won the second ball. Now here is Osborne. And Spirit are just dictating proceedings at the moment. Score update over at Cromer Park. Manly lead the Ravens a goal to nil. And while scores are still as they are elsewhere, and it's actually another goal for Manly United. They've just scored. Make that 2-0 actually, as Union goes through midfield. So the temperature has dropped ever so slightly at Christie Park as now the rain begins to fall. Sprinkling here in Sydney's northwest as Zamaya is deep in her own half, is joined by Union, but gets the other side of her before Sienna Hawkins puts it into the former SD Raiders winger. Of course, another former SD Raiders player on the bench for the Spirit, Ella Abdulmasi. Another player that's benefited from the mentorship of Catherine Cannulli, who's running that League One women's program. They could be in the promotion push, the SD Raiders. As now the rain is truly falling, which is not welcome news to us here in the gantry. It is a roof that has 1 or 2 holes in it, I will say that. But how this might impact the game, if there's any more errors that come into it, as Vanderland is on the edge of the area. Deflected crosses in, and it's cleared away by Fukuneko. Tapped up by Martin, asking Halmerick to deal with the bouncing ball, and she does. Here she goes through the midfield. Osborne. Martin. Stoltzfus. That's going to be a Spirit throw. Just under 7 minutes remaining in this first half. It's been all the way of the Northwest Sydney Spirit. Sky Halmerick's brace, adding to her exceptional tally to start the season. Of course, a reminder, she did score a hat-trick last time she played at Christie Park. So she does love to play at this venue. Spirit continue their press, which has been really suffocating on this Wanderers defence. A few errors have creeped in. Here's another one as Halmerick looks to get on the end of that pass from Victoria Martin. Was half claiming a penalty, but the ball had already been well past her by that stage as Stoltzfus. Union recycles possession well. Exactly what you want from your midfielder in that situation. Spirit cough up possession, and Wanderers can think about going forward. Stajic decides for the more patient option, and it's going to pay off for the Spirit here. As Wanderers, should I say, as a lever. Pass goes forward. Now Victoria Martin is in space with Scarmadella having committed forward, but she did well to track back quickly. Of course, looking at Sky Halmerick's numbers in her last home game, she has scored 3 goals most recently, of course, but she's also scored 6 in her last 3 appearances at Christie Park. So that would make it 8 in her last 4, including this game. Averaging 2 goals a game during that span at home. It's an exceptional record she has at Christie Park. And across the league, to be honest, it's not too many teams have kept her scoreless this season. Only the Stingrays, Ravens, and Manly United have done so, making her case for the golden boot. McKenzie getting to the byline. A good cross in, intended for Krista Oliva, who made great contact with that. And that's the Wanderers' best chance of the half so far, and it was created off the back of Mackenzie's pace bombing on from right back, and Krista Oliva arriving late at the back post. Had to charge forward to the ball onto her left foot. Now it's Spirit's turn to send a wave of attack forward. Hawkins has Chelsea Barton on her back. It's going to deflect out, and it'll fall into midfield for Stajic. Arate passes forward Intercepted in a good position by Hawkins. Ayunion overlaps her. Christina Ayunion holds up and just looks for a bit of help. Waiting for some players to arrive. Finds a good option in Kayla Osborne. Touch was a little wide, but she's able to reverse it. Hawkins is there, teeing up Halmerick. And you don't blame her for shooting from that sort of position. I was looking for a first half hat-trick, Sky Halmerick. Just a couple minutes remaining here, and it's Spirit that are firmly in the driver's seat. A win would take them into the top 4. It'd be a fantastic result for this team. Now the rain is starting to become quite heavy. Fukuneko takes no chances with Miriam Zamaya hot on her heels. Ayunion. Stella Cameron blocks her progress. It'll be a Spirit throw. And the referee has a bit of sorting out to do here. Rain is falling on your screen from right to left slightly. A bit of wind carrying it around at the moment. Mackenzie. That throw combination between her and Arate is blocked off there. Just running out of room. Kalisic has to go back to her keeper, Smith, and a miss-hit ball forward. It's going to invite pressure from the Wanderers, but Spirit are able to make sure that it doesn't cost them all that much in the end. Sent into the box. That one takes a deflection on the way through. It will be a Western Sydney corner. Arate standing over this one. Wanderers looking for a source of inspiration before the break. They'd love to go in 2-1 at half-time. All the momentum with them as lumped into the box. Vanderland is there, knotted down, and sent just wide of the goal. Miriam Zamaya was on the scene there, but unable to put her shot on target. And another half chance falls the way of Western Sydney, and this time they're unable to convert. Ayunion lost the ball. Now it's with Vanderland, who's trying to force her way through the Spirit defence. Kalisic stood tall, though. Osborne. Great pass and an even better touch by Ayunion to slice through this Western Sydney midfield. Martin holds up play, waits for support to arrive. Scumbadella tries to break it up, and Ayunion has gone over to the side to join her as we're into the added portion of time here in the first half. Ayunion is trying to create something in the corner, maybe try and just run down the clock a little bit before they go into the sheds for the break. Spirit would certainly love to keep the scoreline as is. They won't be in a hurry to add another. Osborne fighting for possession. All eyes on the assistant. It'll be a Spirit corner to end the half. You'd think there shouldn't be too many more opportunities in this one before we head into the sheds for the break.
Lucy, stay. Charlie, you go ahead. You and Christina. Good. Christina, get on the edge. Good. Close up. Charlie, stay in the middle of the box.
Stoltzfus Again, looped up high towards Sky Halmerick, and she does have another hat-trick at Christie Park. A first half hat-trick finished off with a header from Sky Halmerick. Another set piece pays off, and it's another assist for Stoltzfus. Those two have combined for the second time from a corner, from the same side again. And the Spirit's homegrown striker topping the charts for the Golden Boot race has a first half hat-trick, and it's the final action of the first half, and it has been the Sky Halmerick show here at the Arctic Circle. Her first half hat-trick has powered Spirit to a 3-goal lead against the Western Sydney Wanderers. I've been Will Constantinides with you. We'll see you back soon on the other side of this halftime break. Welcome back to the second half of football here at Christie Park. It's the Northwest Sydney Spirit that lead the Western Sydney Wanderers Academy 3-0, courtesy of Sky Halmerich's first half hat-trick. And Tony Candy has made a sub off the bench, bringing on Ella Abdulmasi, the former Western Sydney Wanderer. Spent the last A-League women's season with the Perth Glory. Now, don't be confused by her jersey. It reads number 3 Pridmore, but that is definitely Ella Abdulmasi out there. It's not a long-time Spirit central defender, Erin Pridmore. Pridmore is probably twice the height of Abdulmasi. Two very different players. Nevertheless, Spirit get us underway, sending one up into the sky. And it looks like it was, I think, Victoria Martin that has been brought off here. And it looks like there's a player down in back play. Sorry, I think that's Isabel Wilson, who might have come off worse for wear after that. Just looking back at the replay, I think she might have. It's definitely off the ball. There wasn't any challenge that was untoward or anything like that for Wilson. Just taking a look back on the stream, she went up for the header, seemed to be okay after it, and then just dropped moments after, so might have copped one there. It was a high ball that was sent up by Sky Halmerich. Looks like the Wanderers could be making a change to replace their centre back, and the referee, or sorry, the team staff for the Wanderers has made the universal signal for a substitution, so the Wanderers will make a change. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Could be, you hope it's not a concussion or anything like that for their defender. We'll wait for confirmation of who is going to come on. The Wanderers will go to the bench for the first time today. A reminder, the Spirit have already done so, bringing on Ella Abdulmasi. We hope that Wilson is okay. She seems to be in some way after that header. And so it's going to be Talia Voskanian. And I think that's going to prompt a bit of a reshuffle from Jamie Dibb and Spirit, or sorry, Wanderers should I say, with Sienna Arate, who was in midfield. She'll go to the back four as a centre back. Voskanian will go straight into midfield. So early sub there for the Wanderers. Of course, they still have the rest of their bench available to them. Arjun Surgeon, Catalina Wojcinski, Ava DaCosta, Isabella Sultan, and Zoe Edwards are the other substitutes. As for the Spirit, they have their backup goalkeeper, Matilda Gilbert, Charlotte Finnerty, Alexia Hanau, Michaela Gavranich, and Sophia Kelleher. Oliva steps in. It's only to the benefit of Ayunion, whose shot is scuffed wide. And Ayunion wasn't too far away from scoring. And Isabel Wilson looks to be in some way. She is being helped into the Wanderers dressing room at the moment. Hopefully she's all okay. It's never good to cop one on the top of the head. Might have lost it up in the lights there. It was a really high ball from Sky Halmerich sent up. I would not want to be the person tasked with heading that one. Especially a wet ball as well. It carries a bit of extra weight. There's Abdulmasi now on the wing. Her first touches for Spirit this season was trying to link up with Shani Cooney Cross, but the Wanderers send it out over the sideline. Abdulmasi a bit too strong in the back of Krista Oliva. As Scarmadella was asking about whether it was a foul or a free kick, and Abdulmasi is just being told to take a few steps back. Arate gets play underway once again, and a good release pass forward, broken up by Shani Cooney Cross. And the Wanderers then want to score early in this half to get a bit of momentum into them, and start chipping into this 3-goal hole they find themselves in. Voskanian pass is intercepted. Good touches by Victoria Kalisic. Barton. Halmerick is pressing, is right on the heels of Chelsea Barton. And Mackenzie has to go all the way back to a keeper, Selva. And hasn't really been much that Selva could have done about the goals that she's conceded. They've just been good efforts and well-created chances, too, from set pieces for the Spirit. Sky Halmerick on the end of all 3 goals. She made a big double save against Christina Union earlier in the first half. It could have well have been 4, as the Wanderers will try to create something, but it just rolls along this now wet synthetic surface. The ball will carry very, very quickly on this pitch. And that pass will roll out of play. Cooney cross. Spirit will be boxed in here by the Wanderers, you'd think. They'll try and win the ball in a good position here, Western Sydney. The rain has subsided for now, which is much to the delight of us up here in the box. Still a few drips and drops falling from the roof, but other than that, it's all good for the time being. Kabila. Oliva gets up high to interceptors. Osborne turns through traffic. Now Kalisic elects to keep it in instead, knowing that Vanderland was right behind her, and shrugs off the press of Olivia Vanderland. And they'll try and play through traffic here. Well done by Shani Cooney Cross, and Ayunion moves it on. Here is Stoltzfus. Driving forward down the wing, Ariana Stoltzfus. Checks her run inside, and that just slowed down the attack momentarily there for Spirit. But it means they'll keep possession and they'll knock it around the back line. Gabila. Voskanian, that's going to force Sienna Arate to try and track this ball down before it goes out for a corner. She does that, but they have to concede the throw. Into the feet of Sky Halmerick. Gets told to move the ball by Tony Candy, and she does so back to her centre back, Kalisic, and Kalisic takes it forward to Osborne. Pass around the corner. Found Ella Abdul-Masi. Goes down in the box looking for the cross, and she was off balance. Couldn't quite wrap her foot around it, which meant it was too close to Jasmine Selva. But some good showings here from Spirit's Ella Abdul-Masi. And Mackenzie has run right down that right wing for Western Sydney, has whipped in a good ball. Spirit are able to defuse the situation though. Barton keeps the attack going for Western Sydney, but now she steps forward and now she's out of position. Halmerick rides the initial challenge and draws a foul in the process, and I think a yellow card is forthcoming to Alyssa Mackenzie. Recognising that a chance was brewing for the Wanderers. It's a shame because, sorry, for Spirit, it's a shame actually because the Spirit Juniors have departed the game. They were here in the first half, and young players have sadly, perhaps feeling that their side have this one in the bag, have head home for the night, knowing they have school tomorrow. Vanderland has drifted wide to receive. Stajic is in the box. Oliva is also arriving. Whipped in towards Stajic, and dealt with and cleared. The second attempt by the Spirit. Of course, if this result holds, which it looks like it should, Spirit will be in the top 4 after today's play. Helped by the fact that the Northern Tigers dropped points yesterday to RPA Leichhardt. Osborne. Halmerick. He is brought down by Arate, who pleads her innocence, but it was a foul, even though she did get a little bit of the ball, just a bit too late there for our referee's liking. Ayunion tries to get around Chelsea Barton, but Barton was wiser to it. Drills it into the feet of Vanderland, who has a good pass forward, but it's going to ask a bit too much there of Miriam Zamaya. And it looks like the Wanderers have pushed Annika Stajic further forward, either as a more clearer number 10 or perhaps even as a second striker. She's occupying positions higher up the pitch than she did in the first half as Ayunion draws the advantage, and that's going to roll away. Sky Halmerick won't be able to get to that. Vanderland's pass is a bit loose. Well, out of the sideline for a Spirit throw. Kalisic. Pass will test the Western Sydney defence, knowing that Abdulmasi is there as Selva. Had to be careful there. Abdulmasi was pressing from that exact same side, but she worked the tight angles well. Scarmadella now. Gabila breaks it up, but Oliva is trying to find her way forward. Voskanian into Stella Cameron. Scarmadella. Selva. Barden. Wanderers are happy to keep the ball at the back. Continue to try and play positive as Arate's pass is launched forward, and that's over all options, and that'll be another Spirit throw. Might take this moment to update you on some more scores. The Bulls have extended their lead against Sydney Olympic, 3-0. Run into the second half as well. Meanwhile, UNSW and Illawarra still locked at 1-0. And then the Jets and Mount Druitt. That one's at 3-2 now. The Jets are leading with 40 minutes to go. So the Young Academy side could be set for an upset as Mount Druitt are staring down potentially what could be their first loss of the season at the hands of the Young Academy outfit. Who would have thought the emerging Jets would be the team to do it? As Manly also lead 2-0. Western Sydney on the attack. Mackenzie. Looping ball in towards Stajic. It's spilled, but Grace Smith got enough of a touch on it to tap it over Annika Stajic, who was waiting at the back post. And any less of a touch on that from Smith, and that would have fallen right onto the feet of Annika Stajic. Abdulmasi looking to get around Scarmadella. Oliva has a head up and looking for that route one ball forward to Vanderland. She almost got on the end of it. As ends up conceding the foul instead. Hawkins. Takes a couple of Wanderers defenders. Couldn't beat a third. That was Chelsea Barton. Cries of foul, but nothing doing from the referee. Just ticking towards the hour mark. It's still Spirit that remain in a comfortable position. Their leaders looked relatively safe in this second half. They don't look like they're in any immediate danger of conceding at the moment. The Wanderers have continued to threaten, and as the rain commences once more, that might cause a few more problems, potentially at the back for the Spirit. But for now, Tony Candy's side are looking for a back-to-back clean sheet.
Make sure we can pick it up. Make sure we're attacking the ball, Spirit, and it's down. Go with her.
Arate, a good ball into the box. It'll fall right on the penalty spot. Cleared away only as far as Chelsea Barton, and she tried her luck from distance. I mean, decent enough connection with it as well, but just that slight outside of the foot spun the ball wide of the goal. Spirit go short. They trust themselves to continue to play out. Kalisic
Come on, Sky. We need your help.
goes long.
Sooner. Gotta be sooner.
And Tony Candy not settling for Sky Halmerich's hat-trick. He wanted her to come across and help out in build-up, and that's what has been good about Sky Halmerich this season. It's not just been about her goals. It's been what she contributes to the team defensively and also in build-up. Haven't seen quite as much of it today. Spirit have only really needed her to just finish off the goals, but there have been plenty of games this season where she's been involved in dropping deep and been tasked with a bit of hold-up play. Shot comes from Vanderland, and it's off the post. Just turned and shot. Seemingly nothing was on there for Western Sydney, and Vanderland just thought, why not? And that one was just inches away from finding the back of the net and kick-starting a potential comeback. And it was a feature of Spirit's game last week against Western Sydney. They took a 2-0 lead. Sorry, against Apia last week. They took a 2-0 lead at half-time, and they were so positive and proactive in the first half. And perhaps as a young side, the tendency might be when you have a lead and you're 2 or 3 goals up to potentially sit back and try and preserve what you have, rather than having the intent to keep going. That's no doubt what Tony Candy would want from his side, to continue to play football and play the game on their terms. But when you're young, you have that tendency to try and keep the game as is, feel that the job is done. If they can just see it out, they'll get the result. But it seems to have creeped in again to their second half here, the Spirit. Wanderers have started quite brightly, and now they'll have an opportunity from the corner.
Stay with that one. Santa, go closer in front of the number 8. Come on, Vic.
Delivery comes in. Chelsea Barton is there, as was Vanderland. Neither of them were able to get a good enough touch on it, and there was a foul somewhere in the mix, so it'll be a Spirit free kick from inside their own box.
Get it. Go forward.
Iunion. Cooney Cross had to move the ball on in a hurry. Goes down the line, and it's Spirit who are now finding issues with trying to get into the other half, as Halmerich will try and do it herself. Tries to get past Chelsea Barton. He's calling for a foul, but the referee wasn't doing her any favours there. Voskanian. Picked off by Stoltzfus. It falls back to her again. And they go back down that right-hand side with McKenzie. Barton. Stella Cameron. Kayla Osborne is right there, and Osborne went A bit too much into the back there. Looks like Spirit will go to the bench for the second time tonight, having already brought on Ella Abdul-Masi. Fukuneko's clearance only onto the feet of the Western Sydney Wanderers. Zamaya turns and shoots, and spilled but claimed in the end by Grace Smith. So it'll be Gavranich. They'll be receiving final instructions, and now Spirit have numbers forward. They've played their way through midfield. They've got numbers left and right. Osborne has found Stoltzfus in a good position. Union joins the attack. They'll take their way to work into the box here. Spirit. Halmerick is up and couldn't quite direct it goalwards, and Spirit would have been hoping for more from that attack. They had some good numbers there bursting either side. Instead, it'll be Western Sydney Wanderers. We'll be able to take possession of the ball. Just over 65 minutes gone. Still, it's that first half hat-trick from Sky Halmerick, but Spirit have cooled off a little bit. I mean, it's very difficult to continue such a red-hot first half, but Western Sydney Wanderers have kept them at bay. And if they can score soon, they'll have the momentum behind them and back themselves into try and add a couple more, but it's going to have to happen soon for Western Sydney if it is going to happen. Zamaya will try her luck from distance herself, and Smith had that covered, saw it all the way. And so that substitution will come. There'll be two substitutes making their way on. Gavranich for the Spirit. And then for Western Sydney, it'll be Ava DaCosta. Looks like Alyssa McKenzie has made her way off on the far side. And Gavranich hasn't got on just yet. They'll wait for another out as Cooney Cross. Smart work by Shani Cooney Cross. Just dribbled right through two defenders. She seemed like she was under so much pressure there, but hasn't put a foot wrong in this game, Shani Cooney Cross. Meanwhile, Sienna Hawkins is bursting forward on the wing, cutting inside onto her right foot. And it's easy goalkeeping work there for Selva. Arate. Back to Selva. And Spirit are trying to win it back here, and they've done so in a good position as well. Halmerick in the hunt for a fourth. And now that substitution will come. It'll be Michaela Gavranich. And she has plenty of speed to add on to the wing. And this will be not great news for the Western Sydney Wanderers, because it'll be another attacking threat. And she'll go all the way to the left side. And it'll be Sienna Hawkins off on the far side. So a like-for-like swap on the wing. As Gavranich, as she did last week, will have a decent chunk of the second half to impress. And they'll try and press them again here, Spirit. And they've looked to pinch it back in a few of these sorts of positions. And Gavranich and Ayunion have teamed up to win the ball for the Spirit here. One back by Western Sydney, and Vanderland has to hold up and wait for red and black shirts to come across and help her. DaCosta gave it up, but one back by Vosganian before Arate has the crossfield switch down to Krista Oliva. Can't get past Kayla Osborne though, as Abdul Masi is given something to chase. Arate, good quick touches to go forward, and now she has some space, but Cooney Cross quickly shuts that down. Abdul Masi and Osborne. And it's Tony Kennedy just telling his team to settle down, keep connecting those passes, keep moving the ball. Cooney Cross in space. This is good football from the Spirit. Now they can go forward. Osborne. Abdul Masi. Ella Abdul Masi shows her defender one way, then the other. Now she puts a good cross in, waiting for someone at the back post. Gavranich is there, still trying to fight for the ball. Hamrick joined, and then Wanderers clear their lines, but only as far as Christina Ayunion. Osborne turns the corner and looks centrally. Just over 20 minutes to go here at Christie Park. Spirit looking to add another buffer to this lead. Cooney cross. Abdul Masi can take her defender one-on-one. Goes to the right. Puts a good shot across goal, and Halmerick is there. And now she's been denied. Still trying to turn and shoot. Teeing it off at Gavranich. Half-hearted shouts of a penalty were only really coming from the crowd and not any of the Spirit players. But some good scramble defending by the Wanderers has kept this lead at just 3 for now. Zamaya will try another long shot. It's deflected, but Smith is able to prevent that corner. Pridmore. Oh, sorry, Pridmore. I said Pridmore. I fell into the trap of reading the back of the jersey. It's Ella Abdelmasi. As here she is now on the ball. Flicking it around Scarmadella, and Abdelmasi wins the foul. Tony Candy continuing to coach his young chargers. And they've set high standards for themselves, Spirit, this season, that's for sure, despite the fact they are a young team. At the start of the season, when the squad was announced, it looked like it was going to be a bit of a rebuild year around their youth, but they've performed so well that they're really in the hunt for the finals. They've certainly started 2025 much better than they did last season. It took some time before they got their first win of the year last year. And they've already notched up quite a few, and they're looking set to go into the top 4 after 10 rounds. Certainly a very good place to be, as we're well and truly in the thick of the season now. Cameron, around the corner pass is broken up. And now Spirit can go forward. Halmerick, Abdelmasi is joining her on the right side, but it'll be difficult to find her through a sea of Wanderer shirts, and Halmerick draws a foul a metre outside the box. And I think it was Chelsea Barton who was the offending party. So this will be a free kick in a very good position here for the Spirit, just a metre away from that left corner of the box. And Stoltzfus, whose set-piece delivery has been absolutely perfect tonight, it must be said. Spirit have clearly rehearsed things from the corner, and their practice at training has really paid off. So Stoltzfus this time a shorter crossing free kick. No doubt looking for Sky Halmerick perhaps, as in it comes as Selva has to punch. Clears it away from immediate danger as Sky Modella gets a bit more purchase on it. Osborne has Vanderland on her back, and that'll be a Spirit throw. The Spirit are just doing a good job at the moment of keeping a lid on the game and not allowing Western Sydney to get too many shots on goal or too many opportunities. Osborne goes to ground and loses it. Given up though, Cooney Cross intercepts, and it's a battle for it in midfield. Voskanian looking for the direct pass. It'll swerve kindly, potentially for Zamaya, but there was Stoltzfus able to intercept as Spirit. Again, I think that's really summed up this second half. Whenever they've been called to defend, which has been more times than they were in the first half, they've done a great job of stopping the Wanderers, as Cooney Cross almost has the ball taken off her, but she's been extremely press resistant. These last few games has Shani Cooney Cross. Barden. Easy back to a keeper. You can see Spirit again, that pressing trigger is as soon as Western Sydney play the ball wide, they'll look to try and pinch it off them. Union has done that well as that left-sided central midfielder has marshalled. Was Sienna Hawkins before Gavranich came on. Osborne Abdulmasi a bit narrower. Now she looks to go wide. Puts a shot towards goal. There's a tight angle to work from, but Selva had it all covered. Ayunion. Have to be careful here. She's gone all the way backwards, but Spirit shouldn't have too much difficulty. Now the press will come from Western Sydney. Kalisic and Fukuneko have looked tidy on the ball as Fukuneko's pass was picked off but sent out over the sideline. Osborne is tripped up. And Osborne just putting her hands up, trying to get away from any potential afters there. And the game has really slowed down a bit in terms of tempo. Spirit, of course, not as much urgency to score, having already put 3 on the board. Set high, but a bit too far away from Halmerick. Silva. Here is Chelsea Barden. Foul by Ayunion, a bit too eager on the press, and now Cameron will leave it. I thought she was thinking about a short free kick there, but now Western Sydney have spotted Scarmadella in a bit of space, and they can try and move down this left side. Oliva tries to go through Madison Gabila, but nothing doing there. As Oliva was a bit too eager to take the throw. Went down a few too many metres. It'll have to go back to Scarmadella as the Spirit players were thinking about getting the ball back. There's a bit of confusion about the throw. It'll be taken just to our right where Scarmadella is. Into the feet of Stajic, and she's pressed by not one but 2 Spirit players. One of those was Abdulmasi. And Osborne is being shown a yellow card for disrupting the play. And she protested, saying that, well, that wasn't where the free kick was meant to be taken. It was meant to be taken 5 metres back. Nevertheless, was still disrupting the play. Scarmadella. A long searching ball in as Stoltzfus very easily nods that ball back. Definitely would have gotten a call there from Grace Smith. And so far, Spirit are looking very good value for their second clean sheet in as many weeks. That'd be a great result for Tony Candy's side. The attack is starting to fire. The defence is starting to shore up. And they have an interesting game. Next up, they have the Northern Tigers at home in the local derby. It's a great fixture to watch, always, the Northern Tigers and the Spirit. That one played at Christie Park on the Saturday, 3 p.m. Oliva down this left-hand side, floated ball in towards the back post. Zamaya is there. Estelle Cameron on the edge of the area. Couldn't quite get her foot behind it to generate enough power. And now Zamaya. Oh, lovely skill by Miriam Zamaya. Can think about shooting herself. And Smith was able to deny her from a tight angle. I think Stoltzfus there had jumped, perhaps anticipating that Zamaya was going to cross it and try and win a corner by deflecting it off Stoltzfus. But it was a fake cross instead. And Zamaya was just able to pass right through her. Lovely from Sky Halmerick. And an even better switch of play to unleash Michaela Gavranich. Not too many players in the box as she goes short to Ayunion. Great skill by Christina Ayunion. Left her defender on the ground. And the finish wasn't quite up to the initial standards of the touch. And for the that'll be a massive game between the Spirit and the Tigers next week. Of course, The Spirit will jump over the Tigers for position in the top 4 if this result holds. For the Wanderers, they have a local derby of their own against Mount Druitt. Mount Druitt could potentially be vulnerable depending on the score of that game up at Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility. Checking the scores, it's still 4-2 in favour of the Jets with just over 10 to go. That is a massive upset. Stajic will try herself from distance herself, but that one, easy work. Scarmadella passes wide, and that'll attract the attention of Ariana Stolzer. She can pick that up from left back as Spirit will go long this time. There's no one really up there. Chelsea Barton can make that easy as Tony Candy is, I'll tell you from judging his body language down here at pitch side, he's not impressed with how his side have kept the ball in the second half. Abdul Masi left a dangling leg on Sienna Arate. And the Wanderers will go quickly. Voskanian passes wide and loose, and that's going to be a Spirit ball. Under 10 minutes remaining here at Christie Park. It's still Spirit that lead with that first half hat-trick for Sky Halmerick, but they've really killed any potential spark from the Wanderers in this second half. Really managed the game well. Abdul Masi and Osborne. Switch of play out wide, and that'll bring Stoltzfus forward into the attack. Gavranich sends a defender one way and looks to beat her again. Gavranich crosses in. It's deflected towards Halmerick. A half chance on goal. Was asking her to do a bit from there. A tight angle. That one was swerving inwards, but not inwards enough. Oliva. Oh, lovely skill to get past Abdul Masi, and a good pass forward as well for Stajic. Voskanian. Now they work around the back. It's with Barton. Halmerick. Ayunion. Osborne. Driven pass into the feet of Abdul Masi, who's got at Scarmadella a couple of times. That time she decides to find safety in midfield instead. I was looking for Gavranich, and now Western Sydney can think about an attack, but they just haven't been able to link up in the final third with too much regularity in this second half, Western Sydney. Pridmore. Able to get past not Pridmore, Abdul Masi. It's a continuing confusion. They need to get that jersey situation fixed. Abdul Masi definitely out there in that number 3. And now a substitution will come. Estella Cameron will make way. And it will be number 24, Isabella Sultan. It's been a tough old game for Estella Cameron in midfield. It's been hard going for really anyone in that centre of the park for Western Sydney. Not all that much space out there with the way this Spirit midfield trio is playing. Vanderland looking for someone to help her. There's only yellow, black and shirts surrounding her. Osborne pinched it off her. Links up with Abdul Masi. Those two exchange a pair of passes, and Abdul Masi has the skill to get past Sienna Arate as now she goes down, and an easy call for our official, the outstretched arm of Arate, and the instant impact that Ella Abdul Masi has had on this team has been noticeable. Just so much skill, so much speed and agility on the ball. Probably a nightmare for defenders when she's running at you. There's everyone guessing as to which way she's going to go. And that's why she's played in the A-League Women's. That's why the Wanderers initially signed her and gave her her A-League Women's debut. And she could think about shooting here. Abdulmasi drives it, intended for that top corner. And the flight of the ball took it high and wide. Osborne starts the press for the Spirit as Arate has to go wide. Oliva able to keep it in, but Spirit will try and box them in here off the back of Abdulmasi, but Arate still has possession. Voskanian. Back to Selva and Barden. Zamaya around the corner. And there is Gavranich winning it back for her side. A nice ability to win the ball as that one will skip forward as now Sky Halmerick is in the game here. It's fallen back to her. She's offside and will be denied a chance of getting a fourth. As meanwhile, a player is down here for Western Sydney. It looks like Krista Oliva, I think. And the trainer has been called onto the field. Halmerick will try and win the header. She's done it, but Gavranich unable to connect as Spirit will recycle possession. Looks like they'll be making another change soon as well, potentially a double sub at that. Meanwhile, Western Sydney are battling for the ball in midfield. The ball goes over the top, and Gavranich has pace to get the other side of Chelsea Barton. Gavranich. Oh, good skill by Michaela Gavranich, and a good cross as well towards Ella Abdulmasi. No real power behind the shot, but that's good work by Gavranich. Some good skill and a good delivery forward. Has shown some good flashes off the bench, and with her speed and ability on the wing to beat defenders, it adds another flavour to this firing Spirit attack at the moment. Off the back of Ayunion. Zamaya turning, looking for support. It's in midfield with David DaCosta and the Western Sydney Wanderers, but they've given it away out over the throw there. Halmerick bursting through traffic, beats a couple of defenders, but it was one too many. Vanderland, early ball forward for Stajic, but there is Shani Cooney-Cross, who was very quietly gone about her business tonight. Done an exceptional job at keeping this midfield very tidy alongside Christina Ayunion. Halmerick. Gavranich is onside. That might curve in, and it does. And Spirit can think about adding a fourth here. A little extra goal to add to their tally, and they'll get a corner here, which is where they've looked so good. And they'll be in no hurry to take this. It's going to be Shani Cooney-Cross that'll jog all the way to the other side to take. And Spirit will go to the bench for their final set of substitutions. Alexia Hanau and Sophia Kelleher receiving final instructions from the Spirit bench. Meanwhile, Shani Cooney-Cross is lining up to take this corner. Will be an in-swinging right-footed delivery. Can they add a fourth here, Spirit? It's high and it's up for Abdulmasi, who made a half effort towards. It's going to fall for Kayla Osborne, but she was offside. And that's good defending by Western Sydney to get their line up quickly. And Sky Halmerick will get a very much deserved early mark on her Sunday evening. to a big applause from the Spirit faithful. The first half hat-trick hero continues her exceptional scoring streak. As Alexia Hanau and Sophia Kelleher are introduced in place of Halmerick and Osborne. And that'll mean Abdulmasi will be put up front for these last couple of minutes as we're now into stoppage time here at Christie Park. Gavranich. Some first involvements here. The substitutes could combine. Gavranich crossing it low. And now was thinking about getting there had it not been Selva's keeping at the near post. Oliva bursts past one defender. Gets past Cooney. Cross as well. And Krista Oliva has pace to take this one forward. Western Sydney looking for a positive point to end this game. But still with Krista Oliva. Eventually it's worked wide. Cut in by Stajic. And it sits up very kindly. In the end for Grace Smith. So it looks like it should be 3 points, 3 goals, and a clean sheet for the Spirit. Just mere minutes away now, you'd think. Scarmadella gets under it. A bit of pinball in midfield as Oliva flicks it around the corner. Stajic. Iunion was tracking back, it's still with Annika Stajic. A lofted ball in towards Vanderland. Broken up at the back by Fukaneko and Kalasic, and Stajic goes in a bit too strong. I've been told just by listening to the conversation on the near side, there's been 3 minutes of time added on. We've already had about a minute of that. So it shouldn't be too long now, separating Spirit from their third win on the bounce, and a win that puts them into the top 4. Abdulmasi, a great flick on header. You won't see her win too many of those, as Gavranich had just, I think, lost focus for a moment there and drifted offside. And it looks like there's an injury in back play. Krista Oliva is down holding her hamstring, but Western Sydney will try and continue for the time being. Vanderland. A ball centrally. Stajic was there. It might be spilled, but Smith is able to clean it up. And Krista Oliva is down holding, I think, her hamstring or her knee potentially. And this is not great for the Western Sydney Wanderers. Krista Oliva definitely one of their key contributors. Looks like she'll be all right to continue. Hopefully it's not too serious for her. And she'll need to receive treatment. For Western Sydney Wanderers, they have Ardun Surgeon and Catalina Wojcinski still on the bench. Looks like they'll play with 10 to see out the rest of the game. Meanwhile, Spirit are on the attack, looking to add a fourth. Only less than a minute remaining as Gavranich gets to the byline, crossing it in, looking for her now. It still might be here for Spirit. Abdulmasi just has to tap it in, and she's taken it wide. And there was, I think, a foul or a goal kick in there somewhere. She just couldn't get on balance there. Ella Abdulmasi. It was bouncing and round. It was such an awkward height at hip height. Can't head it in, can't volley it in either. And she was waiting for it to drop, and by the time it did so, the angle had shut down and it was too tight for her to get her first goal on her first appearance for the Spirit this season. There's Chelsea Barton on the ball. Oh, well read by Stoltzfus. She got the jump on Zamaya, but then her pass gave her away. Fukuneko chips it over the feet of Zamaya, and that's the final action of this second half. The Northwest Sydney Spirit march on to their third consecutive win. 3 points and a clean sheet, as well as a hat-trick from their star striker, Sky Halmerick. All that means is they will be in the top 4 after tonight's play. Fantastic result for Tony Candy's young side, a team of homegrown Spirit players that have come through this system. And most of these players between the ages of 16 to 19. They're a young side and they're doing the business right now. They have plenty to be proud of as they will take on the Northern Tigers next week. Meanwhile, for the Wanderers, they had their patches in the game, but they're defending
3.
Let them down in the first half, and Spirit just took the sting out of the game in the second half, which made it difficult for them to put anything up. They'll take on Mount Druitt next week in what should be a very interesting game. So from Christie Park, I've been Will Constantinides. We'll see you back next weekend for more NPL football. It's goodbye for now.